Hello. I greet you as we make the final preparations for the celebration of Christmas this year. Our hearts are filled with joy as we prepare to celebrate this Christmas, the birth of Christ anew in our hearts, in our families, in our world, a birth of Christ that we all desperately need anew. It has been a challenging time for all of us. In these last months, and certainly in these last days, we have experienced so much in our family, in our nation, in our world, in our church. But this celebration of Christmas is necessary for all of us. I'm reminded of a quote I saw recently that was so inspiring and uplifting to me during my own time of being isolated with the virus. It said, "Joy can never be canceled." I find those words especially sobering in these days, that joy is the essence of what we are about as Christians and as Christmas people. To that end, I wish all of you, on behalf of Father Jim, Monsignor Trinity, the sisters, all of our pastoral staff, a very blessed and Merry Christmas. It is a time for us to come together. It's a time for us to be renewed by the birth of Christ, Emmanuel, God who is with us. This can never be canceled, tucked away, or hidden. No, it is to be celebrated. But this year, the challenge is to celebrate it uniquely, in our own way, in our own comfort zone, but in the mystery of Christ's love for us, that He is with us. As we make these preparations, each day has changed in so many ways, and that's why I waited until today to share some of this information with you as you prepare as a family for the celebration of Christmas. I shared in my letter to you not so long ago that we will make every effort to make Christmas as special as possible for all of our families and for you. Our Masses will be celebrated here in the church at 2, 4, and 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve. Each of those Masses will be live streamed. We will have 2 additional Masses at 3 and 5 p.m. in our gym. Masses on Christmas Day will be celebrated at 8, 9:30, and 11:30 a.m., all here in the church. The 9:30 Mass, as always, will be live streamed. These are the 8 Masses that will be celebrated for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Each of these Masses are limited in space. Social distancing is of the essence in these days where the pandemic and the virus are growing. We need to be vigilant. We cannot relax any of what our program has been here since we've had the public celebration of Mass. It is a time for us to gather, but it's a time for us to gather in safety. It's a time for us to gather in concern for all of our brothers and sisters. Therefore, I ask that when you come to church, you're masked. When you come to church, that you're in good health and that you follow all the procedures in the church. Space is limited, as I said. There are 100 seats in the gym. Previously, I may have shared with you that we would have more space, but realizing the social distancing and realizing that we cannot alter the space of the gym, there are only 100 seats. In the church, we are able to accommodate 135 people, and we've made that assumption realizing that many of you will come as a family. I remind you that since March, Archbishop Perez has suspended the obligation from attending Mass on Sundays and holy days. Christmas is included in the suspension of the obligation. I know it's hard to fathom not having the obligation to attend Christmas Mass, but I do believe that joining us virtually is a way to fulfill in our hearts a closeness to Christ, a closeness to our brothers and sisters. But I do remind you, it is not an obligation to go to Mass for Christmas. If you are planning to live stream, I would ask that you think about joining us for the 4 o'clock Mass. The 4 o'clock Vigil Mass is an opportunity where I hope that we can all come together as a parish family. You know, when I was in isolation just a few weeks ago, I came together from the privacy of my own room to pray with our community for Nick Sava in his critical time of need. I felt a close connection with the parish, praying virtually, It's not the ideal, but it certainly lifted my hearts in a critical time to pray for a friend and a fellow parishioner. It gave me the inspiration to ask our families to join together in this 4 o'clock Mass. And we have been able to arrange that it will be Zoomed possible as well. By that, you will be able to see your fellow parishioners from their homes as we gather together in prayer. We're also providing a worship aid that you will be able to sing from your home, which I encourage you strongly to do. Again, all of the Masses in church will be live streamed, but I believe the 4 o'clock Mass will lift our hearts and spirits in a special way and join us for those who are at home. I applaud you if you've made the decision to stay at home for Christmas. I think it's an important decision. I also applaud those who are choosing to come to Mass. I know it's a hard time. I know you don't know what to do, but people need to be safe, and you need to be safe for yourself. I have felt this virus myself, and I know many others, and more recently we've experienced loss in our own parish because of this virus. I ask you to be prudent and to make the best decision for you and your family. We have worked very hard to make live streaming possible. We've improved it week after week, and I believe our liturgies come to our families as best we can. So I encourage you to join us live stream at 4 o'clock especially. Some weeks ago, we took a survey in our parish to see what the numbers would be for those choosing to attend Mass here in the church. I would ask that you remember that we did not say that that was a reservation in any way, shape, or form. So if you are choosing to come to Mass, know that I would expect you to arrive early, so that seating is comfortable, seating is safe, and we are able to accommodate you as best as possible. I'm grateful to everyone in our community for all that you have done to provide us with the continued parish support that you have given. You have been so very generous to the parish, and you have been most generous to our families in need, both here at St. Francis de Sales, through Advent Angels, and so many other families that even today we are still helping. I am deeply, deeply grateful for your goodness. Yes, this Christmas is a time that all of us need to be together. While we can't physically be together, we can be together in the body of Christ spiritually. We can be together in the mystery of Christmas that lifts our hearts from the darkness into the light that only Christ can give. It's a time for us not to focus on what has been taken away, but that the newborn child of Christ has been given. I ask you, again, to please carefully consider how you will come to Mass, virtually or in person, to follow all of the protocols that we have put in place for all of us to remain safe and to love one another in our service to one another. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.